Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Mac here from Cryptstar Staking. Whew, got the little sign down there. Today's video, I want to show you guys my YouTube productivity setup. It took a long time for me to figure all this out. It took me probably like 3 or 4 months to get it all set up. Hours of labor as well as troubleshooting, audio issues, video syncing issues, and all that. So this should save you guys a lot of time if you're trying to get the ultimate setup, if you have a full daytime job and you're just trying to get YouTube videos out there as fast as possible on a daily basis or weekly, even weekly basis. I only have time to make maybe 2 or 3 videos because I'm doing 3 or 4 projects as well as my full-time job. It's a very busy life, and I'm up at like 5 a.m. doing this video, guys, for you guys today. So yeah, it's hectic, but this is the way to get the setup done if you're trying to do it right. Let's go ahead and jump right into the video today. Now this video, just so you guys know, this does cost a bit of money, but the monthly fees, there's literally 0 monthly fees. I don't have to pay for Zoom or anything like that, even when I have guests coming to speak, because you can set up all this stuff internally using some Intel NUCs that you have lying around. If you have any extra NUCs lying around or any extra sort of mini PCs lying around, you can actually set this up quite easily yourself. So the setup starts up here. Sorry, for some reason, when I converted to the web version, it isn't making this black, but here we go. So you guys can see up here I have the Shure SMB7, and if you guys take a look, you can see the Shure SMB7 here, and then there's an audio mixer up there. It's called the Yamaha AG06. And basically that connects up to the Sony camera that you guys are seeing here. Hello, this is the Sony camera. That's up here as well, you guys can see it, and then that connects directly to the A10 Mini Pro, which is down here below a shelf. I keep it kind of hidden, but you can see like the lights shimmering right there. That is the most expensive part of the setup. It costs about, I think, $900 $800 USD. You could probably get it used a bit cheaper if you find them. I recommend getting the ISO version if you can. It will streamline your workflow a lot more, because you can basically just take the ISO, the recording as soon as you're done, and upload it straight to YouTube right from the A10 Mini device, and you don't have to go through any post-processing or anything if you like your recording quality that you got with the A10, and it takes really good recording quality. And so I definitely recommend ISO version if possible. It will definitely save you a lot of time in the end if you have the cash. Now, if you don't have the money, if you want to save money on the Sony a6400, you can actually get the Sony a5000. This was an experiment of mine, and this works just fine. And I have kind of a crappy lens on it right now, but if you put a good lens on this, this is definitely good enough for the switcher device. Since the switcher device, it only has the 1080p capability. So the switcher device that I bought, the A10 Mini Extreme, it only has 1080p anyway. So actually buying the Sony a5000, then hacking it, you have to hack it to make it so that none of the camera statistics show on the screen, which takes about 10 minutes. But that's a whole nother YouTube video. But it's definitely worth it if you want to save money on this and then get the ISO version of the A10 Mini Pro. I would recommend that. Now let's move over down here to the 2 mini NUCs. These 2 mini NUCs I actually screwed to the bottom of my table here and then plugged them in, and they both use like really minimal power. They're N97s. If you guys take a look here, the N97, it was, I think, $140 when I bought it, or $120. Now it's even a little bit more expensive. But basically, this N9 mini NUC N97, I think they have the same one in the American store, but super cheap, super low power consumption, and I think it's definitely worth just buying 2 of these and separating as much as you can out the different aspects of your live stream or your setup. So with this one on the left, we have two things coming. We have 2 things happening. So for one, we have the background you see here. You can see in the background, and if you check, I do have my mouse. It actually is connected to that. So you can see here it's connected. Little mouse flying in the background. But it's connected via a barrier app, which is a KVM. So I can basically go from my MacBook Pro to my mini PC to my other mini PC. And this controls well, I'll talk about this in a minute. So this controls OBS, which is the background, and the background music. You guys can hear the background music right now. And this is going through the mic out because only one of the HDMI ports on this PC. This is one of the troubleshooting steps you're going to have to go through. will actually output audio for some reason. I contacted the maker, but they didn't really have anything to say. So with the other one is the playout B for media, and this is what I use for my intro video as well as my outro video. So you guys can see playout B, and if we go ahead and try this, I can show you guys the HD here. And then we'll go ahead and do a transition. And then you guys can see I have my HD here, and this is actually playout B. And then watch this. So hearts. You'll see double hearts, but so one heart is playing on HD, and then it has like a chroma key, and then the other one is playing on in the foreground. So you have double hearts coming right now. But if you want to see what this looks like in okay, if you guys want to see what it looks like in here, basically what it looks like, if you want to see cool hearts come. So now you guys can see beautiful hearts coming over me. Ooh, love. And also you can put other effects like Elmo fire and mind blown, all that kind of stuff. And then of course you can do the shill. Follow me next, guys. Woo. And this is all actually running, if you guys want to see. Let me see. Preview input would be the can't do. So this is all actually running here from this Stream Deck. I have controlling everything. So this basically controls all the different buttons and everything. My recording button is here, fade to black, so you can turn it on and off. I'm not going to press it now because it'll turn off the audio, but we also have all the other buttons that I have here, and you've set that up. I can make another video for this if you guys want. If you guys want, I can make another. Oh, that didn't work. I can make another video for this if you guys want in the future. Sorry, I pressed the buttons too fast, and then when you press the buttons too fast, it does a freeze frame. So that's just me getting used to my own setup. I just got this set up a couple weeks ago, and there's still some glitches I haven't worked out, but that's definitely not the problem of the actual setup. It's just me not pressing the buttons at the wrong time. So now I'm gonna go back to here, and oops, here we go. And then we got the setup again. So let me see. I explained OBS with the background music and playout B. That was the hearts as well as Elmo. OBS is the background. So like I said, this background here. And then we have BitFocus Companion. That was the buttons. So Stream Deck is the hardware device. BitFocus Companion is like a server. So basically you go to the server. And basically you can control the server here via the BitFocus Companion. And these are like all my buttons and everything I have here. So you got 1, 2, and basically I have almost 50 pages of buttons, but the main ones I use are like right here, daily use. And then I just made one recently for interview time. So when I want to do interview, I have like the 2-person crop and then the 4-person for presentation. So if we're doing a presentation during the interview, then I can go ahead and use that. And let's go back to here. So let's go ahead and jump on to the next part of my sort of setup. From here we have the mini PC with Jitsi. And this one's really, really interesting. And it took me a while to set up because it requires a lot of dual audio and sort of audio splitting, because you really want the guest to be able to hear you as well. So you have to basically have the output from your microphone go into this second computer, and then that has to be registered as the microphone for the guest. Then you have to have the guest voice come into your headphones, so that way it doesn't come out your speaker or whatever and comes into your headphones, and it has to go through to the switcher device here in the middle and then get recorded. And from there, it'll basically kind of show into the 2-person presentation mode. So for today's video, I don't think I have the audio set up correctly to go ahead and hear what he's saying. Maybe I do. No, I don't. But you guys can see it looks something like this. And this is actually an uploaded video I put up to YouTube with Kieran from Pangea. And that's all set up here. And I'll show you guys what the sort of computer looks like here. Just a second. Let me do a cut here. So you guys can see the computer, and I have to scroll all the way to the right because this computer is all the way to the right on the Barrier app. But basically I can set up like a meeting here on my local network, and then people can log in, and then I've just put this full screen, and then from there I can actually go back because they can just enter the meeting, and voila. So this part was kind of, I want to get a video for this set up, like a tutorial, but it's quite complicated. Basically, I do one audio out, and I wanted to just keep this dedicated for that because I really want the audio quality for that to be good and the video quality for that to be good. So just have one whole dedicated device for that. It was $100. In 5 months, I'll save on the Zoom fees for that. From there, you can also run the server locally on that mini PC, but they recommend to run it on a separate PC. So I have a small PC running the actual like Zoom Jitsi server, and that also has the firewall and everything set up. So basically, you log in, the guest logs in, goes through here, then they come to here, and then also from there, I have my old AirPods I use for the audio out. And I think you can buy those for like 15 bucks. So you can buy some old AirPods. I would recommend AirPods over like some cheap brand you found on Amazon, just because the Bluetooth seemed to work better with the AirPods than the cheap brand, and just the connection was much better. From there, we also have gaming. I don't have this set up for the video today, but it's kind of similar to these Nooks. Basically, I have the WinGPD4. So I have the WinGPD4 here, which is a little basically a PSP sort of device, but it runs Windows. And then you have over here is the GPU with the Owlstar GPU dock. And I'm not going into that today. I made separate videos on sort of the GPU comparison for that. But that is for when I start doing some game streaming. And sometimes I am on Twitch doing some game streaming right now. But hopefully more of that will be coming next week. I love horror games, so I want to start doing some horror game streaming here in the future. Now, how I get this set up with my MacBook Pro, how you guys are kind of seeing this screen right now, is basically I have the MacBook Pro has a HDMI output on the USB dock that I have, and that goes to the A10 Mini Pro. And then the A10 Mini Pro processes, the background music from here, and then the switcher device itself has this sort of whole layout set up with me on the left and then this in the middle here. And then from there, I can actually even use this whole setup. So when I use my work computer, I can basically just swap out these two cables for my work computer. And then I can also use this whole setup as a web camera for work. So like right now, for example, I work at Cripstar, woo, in the morning at 5 a.m. Woo. Is that working? Is it gonna work? There we go. So I can put that there, and then I can also just put whatever logo I want in the right hand corner. So for work, I basically use this as a webcam, and it works really well, honestly. So that's pretty much it for the whole setup. I'd really recommend getting Barrier. Barrier is 100% free. I would guess this whole setup without the the gaming computer here, the whole setup would cost around, you could probably get a decent setup with just the Sony a5000 for about maybe $2,000. So this is $900. This is with the lens, with the decent lens, would be $300. The two computers, $100 each. All the cabling, probably $200. You could probably go with a cheaper microphone than the Shure, but this is, I recommend the high quality microphone, and then the Sony a5000, definitely necessary. You could definitely replace this with something cheaper. Maybe like something $50 or $100. I think that would place you around $2,000 with no monthly fees at all. And you'd have a very, very robust, solid setup. Now, the thing is, I didn't include the arms and stuff, and those can get quite spendy as well. I end up going with all Elgato just because I've had a really good experience. Yeah, you guys can see here, I have one Elgato arm here. This camera here is also running an Elgato, the same arm for that one. And these are actually boom arms for microphones, but I couldn't find a good camera arm. The only problem with the boom arm is it does shake a bit sometimes when I hit the desk, but as long as you don't hit the desk, it's much more flexible, and I can move it up and down and all around, different angles. And then I use the Elgato mic boom arm, like side mic arm for this microphone here, which works really well. So that's pretty much the whole setup. You guys can see it works pretty well. the actual transition you guys saw with like the flashing lights and the green and stuff, that's actually built into the switcher using sort of the, this is the switcher software actually. So you can see the media in the switcher software. I use this to get my screen capture for my YouTube thumbnails as well. And so you guys can see I have my Cryptstar logo, my Astroscale logo. Then I have basically this built-in sort of transition. So I don't ever have to worry about a software-based transition. I can just use the switcher device. And then here, down here on the bottom right, I have all of my, whenever I do an interview, I can put the interview borders here, and this is me and Kieran. And then like I got the capture here as well. So that's pretty much it. From here, you can also adjust the audio. So when you're doing a live interview, it's really nice to just have this on the screen. And you can basically mute and unmute people. And the biggest hiccups you have, I think, with live streaming with guests is your audio. At least for me right now, as a sort of just getting this all set up, I need to make sure the guest has proper audio volume, and then you can make sure that it's on here or it's following the video. So the AFV is auto follow video, I think. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. That's it for the setup today. I hope that helped out. I'm just gonna go ahead and upload this straight to YouTube, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed it. So let's go ahead and end the video. I'm gonna kind of take a risk here because I haven't tried the end button. There's an end button here. Ready? Here we go.